turning and heaving till the cell finally comes into view and I am offered a clear look of what's inside. Oh, no. Hello, welcome back to the letter. We're going to continue where we left off. Pretty much immediately, I guess. A dreary downpour starts off the Monday. Although it doesn't last for more than an hour, the dark clouds lift just after the sun peaks over the horizon. Brief as it is, the rain has significantly dampened the park's usual cheery vibe. Mornings like this often mark the start of another bad week. An arrest gone wrong, another investigation leading to a dead end, or some truly fucked up shit being called in. Like that one time I was dispatched to the scene where a guy gouged his own eyeball out and almost ate it. I was a few chews away from swallowing it, in fact. Lost my dinner that day.
Fun times.
Of course, I don't anything can top getting cursed by a damn chain letter of all things. This is the last sort of stupid thing people pass along as a prank through emails and text messages, for fuck's sake. Ghost chasing after you just puts the icing on the cake. So far, all we've done is run, snoop about, read stuff and run again. Frustrates me to no end. Now we're still no closer to an answer. Even my car reflects the state my mind is in. Photocopies of documents litter every available surface, scattered all over the place, spilling from the passenger side and into the back seat, making an entire mess of what little space there is. Not that I'm any better. My last shower was 24 hours ago. I haven't slept at all, and my last meal was that chocolate porridge thing Isabella offered. The way I am now, I'll definitely get a scolding. If Becca were here, she'd give me an earful and tell me to take care of myself. I'd her say that I'm killing myself on the job. I can already hear Isabella complaining how dark the bags under my eyes are getting, about how I reek and how I need to shower pronto.
I can rest easy when this is all over.
Then wait, where is Isabella if she's not with you? With the way things ended last time, you'd think they'd be... It's not that I don't feel the pang of hunger. With that woman chasing after you, it's almost difficult not to feel anything other than horror. The rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins and my desperation to survive. In fact, I can still sense the ghost of her touch from last night. Her bony digits wound tightly around my ankle, and that horrid smile she has on her as she pulls me closer. The memory is enough to send a shiver up my spine and make me antsy. Perhaps the only thing comforting about this is the sight of my gun nearby. From my dashboard, sunlight glints off Ophelia's surface. Did you really? You name your car and you name your gun? Really? Normally I keep it hidden in an apartment. Expand police regulations only allow authorized people to carry firearms, and even those are limited. I do have that authorization, but I never really saw the need for its use, and the standard issue tasers are more than good enough to incapacitate anyone. If not, I can always throw them on their back. Those Judah lessons Dad forced me to get as a kid has its uses too. And a ghost of all those probably yield the same result. They're all useless and might as well use a stick. However, there's a feeling of ease I'm after, of what little of it I can gather from it. Awareness that I at least have something to protect myself with, and in case things go wrong, I can still protect the people who are still depending on me despite the missteps I've taken. It doesn't take the edge off, though. The feeling that your whole body has been strained far beyond its capacity. Frankly, I'm already running out of steam. The only thing pushing me right now is knowing someone's still depending on me. My stretch is still in order, though. I've been sitting here since last night. Soon I step out from my car, closing it behind me with a thud as I take in my surroundings. The rain did wonders. The morning air feels crisper and cooler than it has ever been in days. For once, the weather seems to be taking a turn for the normal. Looks for normal. In the distance beyond the building sign, the horizon dark clouds are blowing in.
A storm might be due this evening, give or take.
A shame for the people looking forward to Halloween tonight. I'm not sure whether this is something to look forward to as well. Oh, wait, it's Halloween in the game. Still, I bask in the change it brings. Inhale, exhale, breathing in, taking in the peace as it'll be my last. But as with all good things, the quiet shortly comes to an end. Not necessarily a bad end. Her humming reaches my ears first, halting my movements. Sure enough, when I glance up, I find her, Isabella, just as she enters the park grounds, bags of convenience store food in hand. After last night's flight from Salemville, We have elected to just stay the night here, unsure of if our own homes will be safe. Normally, we had mercy the idea of spending the night outside like this. Our panic and distress has tainted that decision. It's not like we've gotten any ounce of sleep anyway. On the off chance one of us did, it only lasted for but a second, or it's a fitful one. Well, looking at her right now from afar, it's easy to mistake her for someone who's simply out on a morning stroll. Her steps are light and free as she walks, the expression on her face calm, if not untroubled. Her voice still fills the atmosphere with light air, temporarily easing off the disheartening mood. It's easy to pretend we're not knee-deep in a life-and-death situation the way she acts now. It's easy to forget we've lost someone, or one of us is being framed for crime he likely didn't commit. If anything, it's only her appearance that betrays that mask. Slightly disheveled, bags under her eyes, an exhaustive curve in her shoulders, and dragging footsteps. But the closer she gets, the more obvious these signs are to the naked eye. She passes an energy jerk my way. The moment the distance allows it, hands me the other bag she's holding before seating herself on the edge of the fountain. The scent of warm food immediately wafts from the bag when I open it, carried further by a passing breeze. Whatever sweet sauce they drizzle over the pork wannabe. It smells heavenly. Now even the sour-looking vegetables seem appetizing. I find myself without even checking exactly what this is. Hunger swiftly takes over every rational thought. I dig in without waiting for her to start. Although she appears to be of the same mind too, and soon enough she also starts with hers. No casual talk, while we feel our empty stomachs, exhausted as we both are. Food is something we can't forgo. Starvation dulls the thinking, weakens the mind. If we are to survive this, we're gonna have to take care of ourselves first. It's one thing Zach will likely remind me if he's here. I know that's what Rebecca would do. In a matter of minutes, we're done, dumping the empty cartons on a nearby waste bin. Along with it is a shift in the mood. Back to the problems at hand. The comfortable atmosphere from minutes ago was nice while it lasted. Admittedly, I've missed these kinds of moments between us. We've never had a chance, always busy on some project or work. Things we've taken for granted, now we're realizing how valuable they are. With one of us gone, the other stuck in a jail cell, the world is an awful sense of humor. All we've just had is short-lived. It's another thing I want to look forward to. If we free ourselves from this damn curse. I'd like to believe there's a way. For now, we have to focus back on the present. This. Dead people. The letter. The curse. It's not simple to bring these up, but necessary.
What now? Where do we go from here?
Finally, people are talking, so I get my throat a break. Fuck. It's an innocent question at best, but she looks to me as if my face has all the answers in the world. I used to think so, back when I was at the top of my game. I was still sure of everything. Now there's just uncertainties sullying whatever decision I come up with. At some point, logic has simply stopped working here, and we've started grasping at straws. Along with the exhaustion, fatigue, and stress, we've had enough kindling to get a fire burning. Ooh, that not so pleasant kind of fire.
We can't stay here. We'd be sitting ducks if we remain in one place.
But we can't just keep running like this either, Ash. Sooner or later, she'll...
We don't have much of a choice, Isabella. Even our homes aren't safe. Anytime, that woman, that thing might get us. Fuck. A zombie apocalypse would be better than this.
So what then? You're giving up?
Nobody said that.
Just because this whole thing isn't panning out the way you want it to, doesn't mean there isn't a way out.
I mean, she really is an optimist.
Ash, I know Zach wouldn't want you to do that. I know Rebecca wouldn't.
Rebecca's gone! Dead!
Oof.
Isabella, if what happened last night didn't tell you how bad...
I know that! You don't have to keep reminding me. Do you really think I don't blame myself for everything?
Wait, what? No!
Wrong. No. If there's anyone responsible for getting everyone this, it's not her. She warned us. She warned me. Tried to stop me when I pried the letter off her hands. It's never her fault. If there's anyone she should be blaming, it's me.
I'm not... No one's telling you to...
Simply seeing that expression on her face, that guilt eating away at her.
Belle, please don't think that way. Not right now.
It hurts.
No, but you might as well just say it.
It hurts that I can't even do anything to lighten that burden.
Even if you don't, I know everyone, even Rebecca, thinks this is...
It hurts that I can't even find the right words to soothe that
Belle,
grief.
that's enough. We'll just have to make do with what we have. Stop blaming yourself for every little thing. because it's not even helping anyone at this point.
We both falter to silence at my words, and an awkward, stifling mood descends between us. I do not mean to shout, to snap at her, to add to that kindling, not in a moment when anytime, anywhere that damn ghost might get to one of us. We're both in the same boat, yet here we are, just playing the blame game. Little by little, we're falling apart, caving into the pressure, to the bleak situation we're trapped in. That ghost made for this to happen, to divide us, so she can pick us off one by one right after. Who knows? Who knows? Anything's possible now if her kind can't exist. With the fire burning between us right as high as it does now, I'm afraid, deathly afraid, that the possibility might come sooner than I can figure all of this out. Fuck, I still can't think straight. I can't even believe the next words coming out of my own mouth, that out of everyone I had to be the one saying these to her. This is more her forte than mine. Keeping the peace, getting along with everyone while I unintentionally aggravate people with badly chosen words. Funny how fast the tables have been turned after just one unfortunate incident. How am I even supposed to cope?
I swear I'll get us out of this mess. I'll find a way to get Zack out of that place.
Well, it better be before the end of the night.
But if we want to make it out of this in one piece, we're gonna have to calm down first.
Before my own temper flares, I walk away, slide back into my car. If the door slams with more force than needed, I'd like to blame it on the pent-up anger boiling up in me, and I'm not even sure what or who I'm angry at. The ghost, at her sudden outburst, or maybe at myself for being this useless, because despite her not saying anything, I know, goddammit, she's still counting on me. Despite my failures, or every harsh word I've uttered, or how unbearable I can be as a friend. It's there when the tension after the argument finally breaks, and she follows me and gets in the car. Suddenly with sudden glances, she shoots my way when I shut the engine without a word and drive off. In her silence, a heavy gift, her unwavering trust, yet it's one I'm more than willing to carry, even through my own exhaustion, if only to keep her safe. In this city of 68,000 strangers, she's the only one I have left. Though in all seriousness, a good rest is still our best bet for now. Thinking with an exhausted brain is almost as good as running around in circles. Might as well just throw ourselves at that ghost and be done with us. The local Irish pub may not be the best place to hang around when one hasn't slept a wink or stress. More often than not, it's loud. Sometimes the music played by drunkards grates the ears and the whole place smells like piss on a bad day. All in all, it's a very definition of the last place I'll hang around after a wakeful night, but it's safe. Or at least, or safe as it can be with G security watching the place, and makes it easy to find help in case you find yourself in a tight spot. The place being owned by a person I've implicitly placed my trust on provides some semblance of comfort too. Gregor, bartender G, or just G to his regular patrons might be rough around the edges. Sounds a bit too gruff for a man serving drinks behind the counter, but he belongs to the good folk of the city. If there's anyone in this place I can rely on to look after people important to me, it's probably him. He means well. Surprisingly, despite his surly demeanor, cares to some extent for people he likely only sees once or twice a week, on a bad day. Not the best job in the world, in my opinion, but that's exactly it, isn't it? In wine, there's truth. Alcohol, in this case. It loosens the tongue, forces one to let his or her guard down, whatever inhibitions anyone has, and it'll fly straight out the window after a few glasses. It's made him observant, too. He always has one or two things to say about someone or something. Most of the time it's me, opinionated ass. But God knows how many times I've asked for his help when I've met with a dead end in a case or I'm in trouble. This time's no different. As expected, the moment we show up, he's kind enough to offer us a room at the back of a shop. A single look at my face, I don't even need to say anything, and the next thing we know, he's leading us in. No questions asked. Maybe it's also for this reason why I find myself drifting towards this station hours later, after having gotten that much needed shut-eye. Newly washed drinking glasses and tumblers line the counter surface when I enter the room. Behind the bar, G's busy wiping each of them clean, likely prepping it for tonight's use. Briefly, he glances up at me once I claim one of the empty stools and grab a rocks glass sitting closest to my elbow. Turning it absentmindedly in my palm, just to keep my hands occupied while my brain's busy trying to make sense of everything. Even at a dead hour, with only a few patrons smelling about, this place still smells strongly of liquor. Honestly, I've never grown fond of it, regardless of how many times I've made a trip or sat here on the same spot just talking with the old man. I've never been fond of drinking in the first place, yet oddly it's a nasty odor of a brewery that helps clear the mind this time, along with the lack of the establishment's usual hubbub and the occasional clinking of glasses. Even more bizarre is that through my lack of words, she doesn't say anything, although it's clear from the way his mouth is carved up in a tight frown that he has questions. That bucket load of it, he wisely keeps it shut. Instead, he simply focuses back on his work. Rinse, wipe, stash away, repeat, going through the motions with such familiarity, it's almost a trance. Watching his precise movements quietly like this, with these thoughts swimming inside my head, it's easy to lose track of everything around me. One solid lead on this, one possible way to sort this out, but will it work? Especially if my assumption is correct, and that the reason Zach was there yesterday morning was because of the curse. Oh, yeah, it was because of the curse, and because of one of my choices. Something must have happened there for him to see the need to look into it and break inside that place. What if the couple has fallen victim to the curse? Well, one of them has, at least. It doesn't fall outside of their own possibilities, but I've been so biased, not even thinking that they might be in danger as well. During the open house with Isabella, they might have seen the letter and...
Fuck, stupid. Some fucking detective I am.
That's likely the moment when Cooper saw it. If the logic holds, I need to hurry there right away, and if there are answers anywhere, it will be there. It should be there, where all this fucking mess started. Not only my life on the line here, there are others. What happened to us, I won't wish on anyone else, no matter how much I loathe them. How complicated all this has suddenly become. The letter, the woman, the mansion. And now there are voices lacing venom inside every crevice in my head, murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride whenever an opportunity presents itself.
Because you didn't listen.
It's all your fault. Why won't you believe me?
Reminder of what I failed to do and of who I failed. At some point, they all began to blur together, twining and coiling, every horrid image and memory of her seeking the forefront of my mind. And how much I refuse to remember the fear I felt then, to push it as far back as I can. The visions come to me like a deluge. But before I knew it, before I can drown, another voice pulls me out of it.
You're doing good there, boy.
His hand is on my shoulders, gripping it tightly, giving me a light shake. There's relief in his face when I finally look up at him, although his frown appears more distinct than the concern in his eyes. He's asleep now, marred with worry and agitation. He does let go when I offer him a small nod, and the furrow between his eyebrows never leaves his face. He always has a knack for reading people after all, even someone who can be as closed off or distant like me. All the times I spent in the fort, there's only one other person who's as keen as this old guy, the chief. Funny and weird to some degree, he kinda has a similar voice too. I pointed out to him so many times before how much they look alike, only for the observation to brush off with a vehement tone. And I brought it up again after the third time, out of respect for the guy. Whatever it is, it's clear it's something he doesn't want to talk about. Maybe they're related. I push, right? However, during times like this, it's impossible for the thought not to come up. He even has the glare down pat. Under his wordless scrutiny, I feel like a damn rookie.
You're looking a bit green. Sure you got plenty of rest back there? You were only out for an hour or two. Wouldn't hurt to try and get some sleep. I'll keep an eye out.
No need. Don't worry about me. I won't be able to get some sleep anyway.
Now with her face still a clear picture in my head.
I heard that from you before. Not buying it. What's the story this time? This as bad as that case with the guy who ate his own eyeball?
I wish it were. Jesus, stop reminding me. I hated that case. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you get a kick out of telling people about it.
It's useful, you know, for blokes who don't know their limits. Sends them right out the door after I start with a description. Or was it the part when the poor schmuck gouged his eyes out? Nasty, awful, icky stuff, and it gets the job done. Like I said, useful. Don't even need to call security these days if I want to kick someone out. Anyway, pretty sure that pales in comparison to whatever this is now. I haven't seen you this stressed out since they closed that case. The one from 10 years ago with your professor friend.
Abigail and her team weren't able to solve that one, G. No one has been able to. It just went cold.
Same difference. But what do I know, eh? I just serve drinks, listen to people's problems and their whining, then make sure they get home safe afterwards. Thing is, I'm also not blind, kiddo. And you can bet your ass I can tell when a person's about to fall apart.
What? Is this some form of therapy from you? Are you going to offer me free drinks now?
Maybe I can use some right now, something to numb the senses. But when has that been helped anyone?
In your dreams, kid. Last time someone gave you the hard stuff, your photographer friend had to haul you out of this place almost half naked.
I didn't expect any laughter coming from this.
Hey, I can handle my liquor when I put my mind to it.
Not from what I've seen, nope. Besides, you usually avoid drinking. Either way, it's out of the equation. And when booze no longer counts, we just talk. So, talk. It's not like anyone within earshot will care. That chap over there only wants his cricket matches.
I doubt you believe it, G.
I've heard worse stuff. Try me.
You know that mansion down at Anslum?
Yeah, who doesn't? You live in this town long enough, it's impossible not to hear a thing or two about it. Bloody locals.
Well, my friend found a primitive version of a chain letter in there. Now that we've seen it, we're cursed.
A beat passes. For a long moment, G stands there, unmoving. His hand stops short of losing the glasses while marking Pryor back to the rack on his left. All while he stares at me with eyes that are nothing short of scrutinizing. He's probably assuming I'm joking. He wouldn't. Not a week ago, I've been put in the same position. Even now, in spite of the things I've seen and heard, it simply won't sink in. Or maybe there's just desperation creeping in, the idea that I may not be able to find a way out of this, whatever the case is. For people who hasn't experienced what I'm going through, this will merely sound like an awful Halloween prank.
It's not a prank.
This must have been what Isabella felt the whole time we made fun of her that day.
This isn't a prank. I saw something.
Now it's too late. We're stuck in a never-ending nightmare where the only way out might be death. And like I've expected G's reaction to it, and amused laughter. It booms throughout the whole pub after a long bout of silence, like I've just told him a particularly funny joke.
Okay. Good one, kid. You don't want to spill. No one's forcing you. Seriously, though. Good one.
Although I want to be angry with him, I can't find it in myself. Can't even muster the energy for a scowl or glare. Nothing but a taste of my own medicine to temper the annoyance bubbling up in me, I suppose. And again, echoing her words is the best I can do.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, all right. Good luck with that. You're on your own.
Not necessarily. He has Isabella.
Here, I thought you didn't have an ounce of humor in that body. Guess I'm wrong.
He shakes his head, lets out another chuckle before returning to his task. By now, almost half the glasses have been put away. The only ones remaining are the smaller kind used for shots and stemmed ones for cocktails. Despite being busy with his task, his amusement does not entirely disappear from his face. He keeps talking as if I'm simply another customer he's entertaining with the stories, but we both know it's more than that. If the wistful expression on him says anything.
Man, can't believe you're the same rookie who walked in here almost a decade ago. Too smart for his own good, that boy. He's always been 2 steps ahead of things. Now he's here, sulking.
I must have screwed up somewhere then.
I must have screwed up a lot. For things to suddenly shift like this, for me to become a mere shadow of the person he used to be.
I don't think so. This one, screwed up? Not by a mile. It's too early to say. You've still got several years ahead of you, Holmes. Take it easy. But some things change, eh? It has been years, and you were a kid back then. You know, the sort that's a bit unsure, making all the horrible decisions in life he'd eventually be embarrassed to talk about.
You never stop calling me kid, though.
Well, you still are. It's just that this time, you're sure of who that badge and gun is for. What was it you police types usually say? To protect and serve, yeah?
A significant pause follows at its heels from both of us as he allows its meaning to sink in and spur something in me, stirring a feeling both heavy and forceful, but not completely unwelcome. Familiar. Though before I can even clarify what he's trying to play I gather my thoughts on the matter, G turns away to begin his work on the silverwares. He only need those two once more of his patrons coming in for lunch. Slow and easy, sharp contrast with the strained air we've been waiting through these past weeks. A fleeting moment, but one I allow myself to relish, if only because of his absence lately. The way things are now, this is almost a gift. So when it all ends with the sound of my phone ringing, a sigh is all that leaves me. I fixed the damn thing on the volume last night, but it does nothing to keep it quiet. Don't even know if I want to answer it right now. It brought me nothing but one bad news after another. Thinking back about it only makes me want to chuck it at the closest trash bin I can find. I thought it'll help things, of course. With exhale slips past my lips before I pull it out, quickly swiping over the screen without checking the caller ID. After that, the one person who will worry or fret over how awful nights are now is here with me. My parents never call around this hour, so chances are it's probably just the chief or Abigail. There's Zach, but he's in a position where contacting me is impossible. Placed in jail by some scumbag for a crime he likely didn't commit. I use pretending what I'm not when it's anything but...
Inspector Frey speaking.
Good morning, sir. Sorry to bother you this early.
What is this about?
It's about your friend, you know? The guy I called you about yesterday, the one they brought in the night before. Zachary Steele.
I says in a tone does nothing to diminish the lump that has suddenly launched itself at the base of my throat. What are the chances? What are the chances that something went wrong while I'm not looking, while I'm out here brooding of all things?
How is he? Is he doing okay?
We actually have a problem, Detective Inspector.
Hasty assumptions aren't our usual fare in my book. They shouldn't change right now. The precinct is secure. It's supposed to be. They have guards manning the station 24/7. If anything happens, all Zach has to do is shout. Someone will be there for him. Even if it's a phantom going after him, he should be safe there. He should have been. Yet none of these reassurances with my LA will allay my suspicions, and whatever little thread of hope I'm hanging on to very slowly as each second of silence passes by. An expectation so weak, faint, I might as well let it go and prepare myself for the worst. It's a feeble attempt at optimism I never get used to. This is out of my depth. This isn't my forte. Zach's, maybe Rebecca's too. Never mind. Hell, this is the kind of mood Isabella had always unknowingly brought with her. What her eyes often convey, what I brought, often found myself searching in her whenever I looked to them. No matter how many times I repeat my own new words of comfort or calming images inside my head, the hollow chill at the base of my stomach refuses to ease. Even my voice shakes when I urge observance to speak again, weak and unsteady. The only thing keeping me from something when I abruptly stand to fill counter solid support beam beside me, the flat of my hand braced against it for leverage.
Officer Renz, right? What happened? You're supposed to keep an eye on him, yeah? It's protocol.
Your friend, sir, he's... I think it'd be better if you just saw it yourself, sir. This isn't something you should be hearing over the phone. Chief Inspector Lee wants you to report in as well. It's about the case Luke Wright filed yesterday, and...
The rest never registers. Rather, my brain refuses to acknowledge any of it. Not even the possibility that this might just be a terrible joke. All I can think of is the suffocating dread and the piercing noise, white and deafening ring in my ears despite the bar's morning rush. There is only Zach. Only the whole expanse of Luxburn separating me from the one person I still believe safe from this whole fucked up situation we found ourselves in, along with the voices, vile ones, whispers that taunt, jeer, and mock. Every vague utterance growing restless as I make my way out of the bar without another word to G and slide back into my car. Driving off my body on autopilot, mind in a daze and utterly afraid that I have lost someone in my life again. The whole precinct is in an uproar. Officers move in and out from the main work hall with rapid steps. Phones blare loudly from the control room. The calls are being made with the dispatch area. The rest, who has been left standing and watched the whole commotion with a nervous energy from further back. The chief's voice booms above the roar. I'm not even shook. He may appear like a bumbling fool on first glance, but he has kept the city safe for years. Something For something to have happened in his jurisdiction, inside his own precinct, right under his nose, he has a right to be royally pissed.
What do you mean you don't know? Don't give me that shite, Sergeant! How can one person, slip past you? You can't even keep an eye on one man!
His statement gives me pause. Am I wrong? Did Zack escape somehow? I'm not condoning it, neither do I believe Zack's capable of doing, let alone thinking of it. But if it's what's happened, I'll be equally as cross as the chief. This won't be help his case. This will only complicate things with right and put both of us in a tight spot. I won't be able to help him once red tape prevents me from doing so, yet a hint of relief still washes over me as I walk closer to my boss, mentally preparing myself for whatever reprimand he's about to dish out.
What's happening, Chief?
Except he merely glances at me with an inscrutable expression. Although if I'm going to read deeper into it, I'd say it's the closest expression he can get to shooting me a pitying look. For the first time I used my force, I found myself wishing to hear a reprimand from him. Whatever that stare means, it can't be good. Coupled with the officer Dren's tone this morning, it is nothing to calm the unease feeling in me. Fuck, boss even seems relieved to see me. After the last few exchanges we've had these past 2 weeks, you'll think the man doesn't want to see me right
About
now.
time you got in here.
I got caught up in something. Sorry, Chief. What's going on? Is there a problem with Zack?
He hesitates for a second before his frown eases with a long, dragged-out exhale.
I'm not sure if you can call this a problem, Frey, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Follow me. And you, I want your full report about this by the end of the day. It better be good or you are kissing that badge goodbye.
The officer he's addressing, the sergeant, a man in his late 20s to 30s, who transferred here last year, shrinks back in his chair. I don't quite remember his name. I've only seen him quite a number of times since I am often out of the precinct. But if my memory serves me right, he's the guy currently assigned to late night shift, at least until this month ends. Depending on how bad this is, he'll either be giving a verbal warning, a suspension, or dismissal. It's not a position I envy him for being in right now. Although there's really not much time left to feel sorry for him either. As soon as Chief's done roasting the other officers behind the guy, he gestures for me to follow. Straight toward the precinct's holding cells, and it's as if a switch has been turned off. The moment he steps away from the small crowd, the entire main lobby goes silent. For one reason or another, it feels like everyone's simply waiting for the metaphorical hammer to fall. Even the stairs before we turn to an adjacent hallway exude the same pitying vibe as Chief's, all of which I might have easily ignored any other day. People here can be a bunch of gossip mongers. It's only the significance the Chief throws my way before pushing the door open that stops me. Not that there's even a need to mull over it, because the moment he swings open, it strikes me. A sharp, dry, metallic scent. I've grown familiar with it over the years. It's another one of those things you'll have to get used to once they start handling the homicide cases. Now, just a whiff of it tells me enough to gauge the severity of the situation. This isn't the festering smell you get when someone in the room has a flesh wound. It lingers far too much in the air, it hangs far too heavily, even where I stand. No, this is what you get when someone has spilled blood all over the room. This is what you get when there's a large pool of it. This is what you get when no one bothers with cleanup after a few hours because forensic work isn't done yet. This is what you get when there's most certainly a dead body somewhere. I don't want to think about who yet. There are simply too many possibilities, too many variables unaccounted for here to form a single conclusion. However, when the chief of the Luxor police refuses to provide answers, a chill easily fills every nerve in my body. Almost in a trance, I follow after him without asking again or saying another word. For the first time in years, I feel like a damn rookie again. Fresh out of training, newly instated, and still on my first homicidal case, except I didn't balk at the idea of seeing a dead body then. Now as light flashes fleetingly from the far end of the hall, I'll see a side documents the scene and the forensics team gather evidence. The only thing my instinct tells me is to run as far from here as possible, and if I don't have 10 years of detective work as if I don't have 10 years of detective work under my belt. It echoes inside my head like a mantra.
It's all your fault. Why won't you believe me?
Over and over and over, rising and ebbing, a tidal wave of thoughts and murmurs surging and crashing against my ear. more deafening than the drum of my heartbeats and shallow gasps, churning and heaving till the cell finally comes into view and I am offered a clear look of what's inside. Oh, no. I'm fucking done with this. No, I'm fucking done. My favorite character. The whole world stands still. In one single moment, every noise, every smell, every person in the room, all ceases to matter the second my eyes landed on his prone form. There's only red. Blood everywhere on the floor, where copious amounts of it is spilled on the walls, smeared on every crack and tile his hands can reach. On his face and shoulders, dripping from every gash and tear, flowing from the hollow gap where his eyes should have
The
been.
custodial officer found him when they brought in breakfast. It was too late.
I can't look.
He was already dead by that time. Some 3 to 4 hours, according to the blokes from forensics.
There had been a struggle based alone on the smear pattern left on the bars and floor, but only so much as this small cell could allow. I can already imagine how it went down. He was likely left with no other choice, cornered like an animal at the mercy of his killer. In this cell, there would have been no escape. The only thing he would have been able to do was shout for help, perhaps the same written plea written on the floor closest to him, the same one written on the pavement close to Rebecca's remains. Help me, help me, help me. Hope that he didn't even get. And it calls for a whole lot of questions, not the hows. Logic has already flown out the window from the start. She has the means to get to all of us, bars and walls, notwithstanding. Wise though?
No one heard him? Not even one from the guys on duty last night?
Because Zach's not in it. He would have asked for help. He would have yelled.
Oh, one of them did, but thought nothing of it.
Then why didn't they do anything? He's just a room away!
They must have assumed your friend's just asking for attention. Henry wasn't clear on the details when I questioned him about it. You've been serving in this precinct for more than a decade, though. You should be aware by now how rowdy the folks we detain here can become. But that's not the only problem we have here. Someone got in and out of this place without anyone noticing. Even the surveillance footage is a bust. Tech's going over it now, but I don't think we'll get anything from it. The media will have a field day when they learn of this, Frey. Keep it mum for now. I'll let you know because he's your... well, you deserve to know. The poor bloke's your friend, after all. I just don't want the commissioner hearing of this before I can tell him anything. Or at least, until we've figured out how the butcher got in.
You think this is an inside job?
What else can it be? It's either that or we have a damn good criminal mastermind walking this city.
Really, I want to say something. I want to tell him that this isn't what he's thinking. That all the time the Ansem Butcher never existed. This is a curse the people of the city have been laughing at for centuries. The way things are going, we're simply finding ourselves at a dead end. Chances are they'll just have to find an innocent chap to blame for everything, like what Wright did to Zach. A scapegoat for things they can't explain. But how am I supposed to tell anyone, let alone get them to believe my words? I'll sound like an idiot. They'll likely brush me off the same way I've done with Isabella's warning. In the end, clenching my fists at my sides and gritting my teeth. Ugh. Is all I'm able to do. Zach's lifeless face stares back at me, and accusations in them, sharp and seething. An expression that edges itself deep within my mind once the first officer waves us both out of the room. Another ghastly image I'll never be able to forget. Just like Rebecca's bleeding corpse on the pavement. Another memory that will probably haunt me until my last dying breath. Another regret. The one character of all the characters that I ended up killing off, just had to be one of my favorite. And here's the thing, I knew that he probably was. I just wanted to have hope. I just wanted to have some hope. But now we have confirmation of the two characters that I thought that I killed, in fact, were killed. Why the fuck was Hannah the only one that I was able to save? Oh wait, what about Marianne? There's Marianne. I don't exactly know what happened with her. Whether she's alive or not, I forgot about Marianne. Like, I know for sure Hannah is fine. Ah, damn. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video of the letter. If you did, then subscribe. Check out other videos I've done, and hope to see you when I finish that day for the next video of the letter. Anyway, bye bye.